Good morning, everybody. 8:26 a.m. on 9/20. Let's get into these markets. Yeah, give me pull my chart up here. Get my trusty marker out. All right. Let's see what the market's giving us today, huh? Okay. So yesterday in the SPY, we kind of chopped around a bunch, which was expected, and then had a late day surge, and we filled the gap. Okay, so we came into this 388.42 level and kind of hit this, which is a swing low here. You can call it the low of this candle because of the gap filled. Okay, so we filled the gap, and a little bit of a surprising surge at the end, but I was expecting sellers to emerge from that level, and that's what's kind of happened overnight. Let's look at the Qs really quick. Let's look at the Qs. So in the Qs, a little different. We kind of came up to this swing low, which is 291.47. That acted as resistance. All right. Kind of an engulfing candle in both indexes or ETFs. So now, as far as looking at some levels here, if we can look at some levels, hold on a second. Okay. So a couple levels I'm looking at in the SPY. We got resistance at 390.26. Okay. We got support at 383.9 and support at 381.98. Those are the levels on watch for the SPY. For the Qs, I have resistance at 292.79, resistance at 290.87, and support a very big level at 285.83. That breaks. We're gonna get some further excursion in the Qs. Okay. Let's move over to the TNX 10-year yield. Jesus. Just gapped higher. So now we made new highs. We're gapping up higher. That is a big concern. Probably then when you gap up that high, we're at 3.56. That is not good for equities, and we're making highs here and a gap up. So if this continues to move higher, that is definitely not good for equities, especially tech stocks. Just got to keep an eye on that. We're still holding this trend that's just been moving higher. So bonds have been selling off. We got to keep an eye on that. All right, let's get into the futures. Just give me one sec. All right, let's see what we have here in the ES. That's the crude. Okay, so let's see what we got going. So we had a weak highs here, right about here, 39.03 in the futures, and it was acting very resistant early on, and then later on we broke it. So basically, shorts had the cover, and we made a nice little push higher. Okay, so that's what happened yesterday. Okay, now as far as like looking at what happened yesterday, right? So this is considered a spike right here, right? And so in market profile, when you see a spike like that, you want to see if prices can hold here in the spike, within the spike. That would be deemed as acceptance. We're accepting these higher prices. That's bullish, right? And right now we're not. Right now, price is here, right? 388, 3888 in the ES. Okay. No surprise where are we at? We're at the 5 day. The most traded price of the week, which is 3886.5. I mean, can't make this stuff up. That's where we are right now. That's the most traded price of the week. We did bring value lower. Uh, well, we had value lower. I think no, we did bring value lower yesterday in the ES. So that's bearish. So now value's lower, right? You can see on the composite on the side here. Look at this composite, and then we have nice volume here, and that's value. And if you also notice too, there's not excess here in the profile. That means that we could move lower to fill this out. Okay, does that happen today? I don't know. We got a big news tomorrow, so I'm just saying that value has moved lower. Okay, and that's where we are right now. Price is right at the most traded price of the week. That's 3886. All right, so we're not accepting those prices. So we have to see. Okay, ES is down 0.73% right now. All right, let's look at the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq had these weak highs as well that got put a spike in as well. Okay, and then went a little higher in the overnight into supply, almost to the most traded price of the month, 121.25, almost there. Now remember, I said yesterday this is the most traded price of the week in the Nasdaq, which is 118.20, right? And I said yesterday this could act as a ping pong effect. Boom, 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 boom. We didn't quite make it here in the overnight, but we almost did, right? And now what are we doing? We're coming back. So just pointing that out. All right. So we already know we got a spike here. We already know spike. This price is now below the spike, which is bearish. Kind of negating the move from yesterday. Okay. Kind of negating that move. Taking it back. And the Nasdaq already had value lower. And now if you look at the Nasdaq profile as well, look at it. You call this a bearish imbalance, because that's not a complete profile, right? It's like a bear flag. It's kind of in a profile that's kind of a bear flag, right? So you expect to fill this out. You expect to maybe move lower, maybe down to here, to this naked VPOC down here. That would fill the profile out. But we'll have to see, right? We got that big news coming. All right. Let me bring it back to the 1 hour charts. Let's go to that ES. go to that ES. Let's go to that 60-minute futures chart. Alrighty. So we have a double top here. I'm going to talk about resistance. Okay. We have a double top here. We got 1, 2. That level is resistance level is 39, 34, 50 in the ES. Right. It's also a supply zone here that it touched. So double top. Some people call that M, like it's an M pattern, right? M for murder. So that it usually double top means selling, right? So that's a key resistance level. Now I just kept this level on because this was the level that it broke here, right? Which caused some shorts covering, right? So I'm keeping that level there. You can see this level is acting as resistance now. Okay. This level is acting as resistance. Let's go to the next level. We have support at 38.70. Okay, right here. Support at 38.70. Then the final level of support, 38.50.75. Okay. And you can see here another pattern that formed yesterday was this double bottom. The W pattern here. Right here, and then you lift it off. So that's the ES. Got a couple demand zones that formed yesterday. Let's see if they can hold. We're in one right now. And let's see if they can hold. Okay. Remember, we got big news tomorrow. So, all right, let's look at that NASDAQ. Okay. So NASDAQ's got the double top as well. And that resistance is 120.89.50. Also notice, most traded price of the year, 121.26.75. Okay. Remember, moves. This is a magnet, right? And it's a zone. It's a zone, right? So what do we come? We came from down here. We went right to this zone, and now we're selling off again, right? Very important to have that on my chart. Okay, so we got that double top here, right? We have the level that broke, similar to 39.03 in the ES right here, 119.50 in the NASDAQ. It's acting as resistance now. Okay, then we have a support level of 119.02 right here. And then the big level, okay, triple little bottom here in the hourly chart, 117.80. That's the, we pierce that, we're going low. We break that, that's going to bring us lower. But we have to see, right? We have to see. Okay, that is the levels. All right. Now we can go into the zoomed in market profile chart. And we can see what maybe we can expect today. What can we expect today? Let me bring this over a little bit. Okay. Okay. So a couple things I want to note right off the bat. Okay. So this is the demand zone that's formed here, right? That's one level. We have the most traded price of the week, 3886.50. Now, interesting to note, yesterday's most traded price was 3886.50. Now I want to be clear with something here. And this is very important. Okay. The reason I'm pointing all these out is these longs have not been hurt yet. So everybody who got long here is still alive until they're not. So if we come and can break this overnight low here, and we start to, and we break this demand zone, we're heading towards 38.70. And if that doesn't hold, we're headed to 38.50, the next demand zone. Okay, I just want to point out why is because this level here is really important. If it holds, okay, it holds. But if it doesn't, those longs are gonna get liquidated. Okay, so what can happen? Let's make a game plan, right? Let's make a game plan. Right now we're getting some buyers here, right? Which is fine. Get more buyers there. It's only adding to the buyers that are already there, right? So I can see us push up to 39.03, maybe pop above it, maybe can't find resistance, come back in here. And I don't think this slices through a knife through butter. However, early on it might. Early on is volatile. But I think we come down here, have a little trouble. But then if we break, we're going down to 38.70. 38.70 might get a pop, and then we might be heading down to 38.50. And in the demand zone, I say we pop below it, and I say we probably come up and maybe we balance off here. I could very easily see that happening. Okay. Now, you notice I'm not looking for no huge move because of tomorrow's news. Okay, because of tomorrow's news. So that's one scenario. Let's go for another scenario. So another scenario that can happen is we can open, push down into this demand zone, can't break it, get out of there, go back to 39.03, get some resistance there, and then we can pop up maybe to yesterday's highs, and then we come back down and balance at 38.8650. Okay. And lastly, what I also think could happen very easily is we open, push down, come up, find resistance at 39.03, come down 38.70, break it, 38.50, come down, come up back to this level, break it, go down to this old gap here about 38.30, and we could fall into this gap. That's the very bearish scenario. Okay, those are the scenarios I see in the ES. Okay, but the really thing we got to pay attention to, the real important level is this right here, right there, right? They're longs from yesterday. They're the last straggling longs. Also, think about people who also, I want to give you some psychology here, okay? So if you're long here, and let's say you're in an equity, you're in a stock, and you bought it here, and when it closed up here. Now you're waking up and you can't do anything, and you're waking up to it and it's underwater, right? Your stock's underwater. Like you just bought it yesterday thinking it was great buy, and now it's underwater, right? So you're either gonna off the open sell it, right? Or off the open, if we get a little pop, you're gonna sell it to get out of your position. So that's just psychology for you in trading, okay? Nasdaq's not gonna be much different, okay? It is really not gonna be much different. So Nasdaq's price is right here. Let's move this over a little bit. Okay. Price is right here at, where are we at? 119.35. All right. So underneath this key level, right? So in the Nasdaq, you can also take this area, the most traded price, from yesterday, and it's by a key level of 119.02. Okay, so this same thing, right? If we come down, break the overnight lows in the Nasdaq, break 192. If we break this, all the longs that are here yesterday are going to have to get liquidated, and we're coming back probably to 118.20, which is the most traded price of the week. Okay, so just giving you the why. That's the why. Okay, so I can clearly see one scenario here is this: push up, push up a little bit, come back down to 119.50, try again, can't, fall under, hit it, come down. Now 119.02, right? Key support. We could drop, come back up, and now we could get a little bit of a resistance here because the most traded price of yesterday. But once this breaks, it's a free clear. It's a free and clear drop to 118.20. And then from there, we either can fall a little farther or we bounce back up and we balance here for tomorrow. Okay. Now, just to note as well, there's single prints here from the open of yesterday, which won't be very much support. Okay, that won't be much support. And then lastly, in the Nasdaq, because the most traded price is lower here, obviously we can do a broad thing. If we happen to break this, come down, come up into this area with 120.89 and supply zone, we could definitely find ourselves back here, balance out, right? We can also just find our way down here in this area, which has the demand zone and it's the most traded price of the week, can find support, and we definitely can kind of like balance out here. That's just fading the edges. Okay, just because tomorrow is news. Okay, now of course we could pop up, break this level, pop up, come in this demand zone, hang out here for a while, and if we somehow can break 117.80, then we're going lower. I don't see that likely with tomorrow's news, but that could happen. Okay, that 117.80 is a very key level. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, a like, and set your little notification alarm there so when I go live you'll know. Please share with other traders. I am trying to build this channel, and I wish everybody good luck today. Stay green. All right, I hope everybody makes some money today, and I will see you guys tomorrow.